It is Monday night, and that's all right for racing. Here we go. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the host of Race 5 of the 2026 season of the Fast Track Cup Series. We're excited to have you here on BRN with us, Dawson Allen. On the call, we head to Sin City, where the drivers will get ready for their first true test of the season, the first true mile and a half we have on the schedule being out west in Las Vegas, Nevada, just outside of the city limits. Excited to have you here for tonight's running of the Spring Vegas 200 here on BRN, of course. Excited to have some racing here tonight. Excited to go racing for the Fast Track Cup Series. So excited to have you along with us here tonight. I'm Dawson Allen, of course, mentioned here on the broadcast. And got about 3 minutes to go in practice as drivers getting that last bit of track time in before going into qualifying. Sean Kaltenbach's fastest with Andrew Niedert second. Tyler Marble is third fastest. Brian Dubel is fourth. And then John Broussard is your fifth fastest car on the racetrack right now as we continue to monitor this season. Last week's winner, Ty Ippolito, taking the victory back in Phoenix last week. I was not here for that, unfortunately. My nephew had his one of his final games of his basketball season, so had to be there to support him for that. But Ty Ippolito stealing that one at the end, 7 laps led, stealing the win from Quentin Clark, who dominated the race, but comes away empty-handed. We'll see how things all shake out tonight. But just looking at the history that Las Vegas Motor Speedway has here in the Fast Track Cup Series, just kind of clicking off to see how things are looking, and I can tell you who's won what. It looks like the most recent winner is Quentin Clark at this racetrack. He's looking to see if he can go ahead and back up that fall win last fall at this racetrack. That would have been, the date was October 13th last year. And the defending race winner of this one is our second fastest in practice, Mr. Andrew Niedert, 36 machine, looking to see if he can go ahead and get another spring win under his belt. He's also won the spring race back in 2022. Looking to see if he can add a third Vegas win to his name. Look and see how good has Niedert been at this track. Two wins. Tied for the most with Josh Watson. Got 4 top 5s and 5 starts. So I'd say he's been pretty good at this racetrack, all things considered. First, the second, a fourth, the first, and last race here in the fall, he finished 24th for his worst career finish at this track in the Fast Track Cup Series. So hey, looking to see if he can bounce back from that and take home his first win this season. Excited to watch and see how he does here tonight. About a minute to go in practice. They're kind of getting their last final laps turned in, like the number 35 of Brett Spad. There's the 24 of Brandon Saylor down there, 8th place, 8th fastest in practice time so far. You've got Jeff Shutt, 11th fastest in 27. He's out on track. There's a lot of guys getting their final laps in as we get ready to roll here. And I see 41 drivers on the entry list right now. 41 drivers have registered for this race. I believe it's a field of 40 max. Could be wrong. But if that's the case, we could have a DNQ from this race here tonight. We'll see if that plays any dividends. Just watching the final minute, under 30 seconds, I should say, of practice. Looks like that'll be it for most of these drivers. So we'll top 5 will stay the same. Sean Kaltenbach is fastest. Andrew Niedert, Tyler Marble, Brian Dubel, and John Broussard, your top 5 on the practice charts as we get ready to head into qualifying to get this field of 40 ready to go racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Seen some crazy, hectic, and exciting things in the real-life races. Yesterday, however, was far from it. A very tame race, all things considered. Really only had, I think, the moment with Shane Van Gisbergen on lap 1, the slide he had about wrecking, and then they had the Connor Zilic spin, and I think there might be one more that happened that I'm not remembering. There wasn't a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage, which is nice to see. So we'll see if that kind of translates to this race here tonight, and we'll see if these drivers are able to make it through without any problems. So qualifying is underway. The first car to roll out onto the racetrack is the '07 of Thomas O'Hara. Got the drivers rolling out: Andrew Nieder, Michael Mueller. Got Marcus Emerson rolling out as well now, as is John Broussard, Brandon Saylor, Andrew Moore Jr. A lot of cars out here qualifying for this race. But the first one to set lap time will be the '07 of Thomas O'Hara, who actually has a black flag, so he's not going to get this lap time to count. I hope he knows that, because he's about to qualify, but we'll pan back to Jacob Musso in the number 95 machine, who's going to be on his first timed lap. Musso's had an okay start to this season. Nothing flashy, nothing great, but it could be worse, is the best way to put it, for the driver of the number 95 machine as he rolls his way through here. Heading for turn 4, heading for the front stretch. As he sets his sights on a pole position right now. Currently third fastest. The number 94, Quentin Clark, his teammate, is fastest here so far. Musso has had 3 straight top 5 finishes, looking to see if he can make it another one and maybe try to pick up from his best finish so far this season of 4th place. And he got back at Atlanta in the second week of the season. But Quentin Clark is fastest right now. Jacob Musso not able to improve. He sits 4th fastest. More drivers dropping lap times in. Kyle Oakley now jumps to 4th fastest. We'll cut back to another driver who's here. Oh boy. Hey, how about this? Another BRN alumni here. Dane Cruz out here. Monday night racing now in the number 70 machine. We'll see how the Cruz missile does. We got 2 missiles now. We got the Cruz missile and the Musso missile. So we'll see who is able to out-missile the other. But Dane Cruz is back here in the number 70 machine. Here now on Monday nights. He races with us, of course, pretty much everywhere we go, it feels like. Of course, running Tuesday nights in the Slide Job Racing League. He runs Thursday nights in the Sofa Racing League at times. And now joining us on Monday nights to come run here at Las Vegas. We'll see how he does. Sean Kaltenbach just took the pole position from Quentin Clark. We'll see if he's able to hang on to it. As we watch Dane Cruz make his way out of turns 1 and 2. The Cruz Auto Racing number 70 Toyota Camry. Looking to snatch the pole position from Kaltenbach. A 29.070 is lap time for the 2 machine. Dane Cruz is going to just be shy by 2/100th of a second under Kaltenbach on that lap time. And he's going to call it at that lap time. Second fastest for the number 70 machine. As we'll jump back, I think Joshua Biddle just had a lap time. 35th fastest for the number 76 machine. Albert Williams as well coming around to start his first lap, in the number 81 car. We'll see how he does. Coming to the line this time with 1 minute and 22 seconds to go. With the stripe of 29.325. I think that's good to pump him up to about, 12 fastest for the 81 so far. 37 lap times have been set. And like I said, I think we're going to have a D&Q in this race. I believe it's a field of 40 and not 41. We'll have to see how it shakes out for the field. But right now, coming to the line, Williams trying to improve on his lap time. He does slightly. I don't know if it'll be enough to propel him a spot. It does. It gets him back up to 12th place after being dropped down. But right there, we have 37 drivers who have set a lap time. The other 4 that did not: Thomas O'Hara, TJ Bartle, James Wallace, our Daytona winner, and Brian Dubel in the 87. He was fast in practice. I'm not sure if he's going to be locked into the race. We'll have to see. There's 24 seconds left to go in qualifying. Nobody else out there on track to get a lap time. Cody Matthews, I think, is the only one that's on pit road, but that's not going to be anything worth clicking over to. So, with the last 13 seconds of qualifying, let's get ready to get that field rocking and see how they're going to line up for tonight's running of the Las Vegas Spring 200. Could have just called it the Vegas Springs 200, but, it is what it is. So, we're getting ready to go racing here from Las Vegas. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for tonight's race. Presented by MardonPC.com. On the pole position, it is the driver of the number 2, Sean Kaltenbach, taking the top spot from tonight's race. Dane Cruz, the number 70, making his debut here in the Fast Track Cup Series tonight. He'll start outside of row 1. Got Quentin Clark looking to go back-to-back here at Vegas, starting in 3rd with Jared Bundy on his outside. Wes Hurd Jr. and Ty Ippolito together in row 3. Row 4, it's the 17 of Kyle Oakley and the 34 of Alan Pajari. And you got Tyler Marble in the 48 and Jacob Musso rounding out the top 10. Starting in 11th is the number 10. That is Cody Matthews. 12th, Albert Williams on his outside. You got Andrew Moore Jr. and Ryan Haynes starting together in row number 7. Row 8, it's defending race winner of the spring race, Andrew Niedert, with Jeffrey Souza on his outside. Row number 9, you got Anthony Handley and you got John Broussard. Rounding out the top 20, it's Brett Spott and Brandon Saylor. Their 21st place is Roger Rios Matias. He's got the number 37, Brian Conklin, on his outside. Jared Lipstruer and Michael Mueller together in row number 12. Row 13, it's the 22 of Marcus Emerson with Christian Lotion on his outside. Row 14 is Danny Gutierrez and Joshua Biddle. And rounding out your top 30, Tracy Powers and Jeff Shutt. 31st place goes to Ryan Hedrick with Bill Benedict on his outside. Andrew Russo and Josh Johnson together in row number 17. Row 18, it's the 64 of Glenn Grigsby with Jake Hickson in the 16 on his outside. Jeff Marble, Thomas Sahara together in row number 19. And riding shotgun on the field, James Wallace and Brian Duval in row 20. Looks like we will have 41 starters. TJ Bartle in the 26 will be starting in 41st, the last car on the grid, for a total of 41 drivers duking it out here for 134 laps at Las Vegas. Now, I believe we do have a stage. I'm not sure what lap it is. I really should double check that. No caution comes out for the stages, so stage points are just awarded, and that's it. But there will be a stage, I believe, at some point in this race. I do not remember to save my life. But it looks like the field is getting ready to roll, so we'll have a stage break, obviously. Would expect to see maybe 2 stops, maybe 3 stops in this race to make it to the end on fuel, make it to the end of this race. No questions asked, depending on maybe any cautions flying or anything like that. I don't think I opened trading paints. Uh-oh. Let's get that fired up real quick and give that one last little upsy-datesy, just to make sure everything is loaded right, because I did not realize I did not have trading paints open. It's been a long week. And it's only Monday. March Madness is around the corner here. This Thursday. Best time of the year. Best time of the year. We're going to give her the old control refresh and see some white cars, and hopefully they load in very quickly. So that way we have our paint schemes loaded and ready to see how they're running here at Las Vegas. Out west in Sin City, we have 41 drivers ready to take their shot at winning here in the gambling capital of the world. I'll try to shoehorn a bunch of gambling references in for you, because that would be not fun. Hopefully Trading Paints gets us loaded quickly. It's working hard. Maybe it's hardly working. Pace car getting ready to dive off towards the safety of pit lane as Enrique Cucalan has joined me in the booth. We're about to go green here. It's Sean Kaltenbach, Dane Cruz, the front row. They're heading for the green flag. We are racing in Las Vegas. Sean Kaltenbach leads lap number 1. Quentin Clark slides up to second as Jared Bundy battling Dane Cruz for position number 3.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm finally here in the booth, but you know, Quentin Clark, I talked about him last week on the Phoenix broadcast. The way he dominated that race and the way he lost it, he really wanted to win that race so bad, and we saw him already in lap 1 trying to make the move on Kaltenbach. Couldn't make it and is now in second.
At second, of course, is right there behind the race leader. A good spot to be in if you're wanting to get that race lead. Somebody who's kind of in the mix of things in a bit of a hornet's nest is that number 17, Kyle Oakley. I saw him kind of dropping back a little bit there. Down 4 spots from the drop of the green flag already on lap number 3. He's gotten himself gathered back up a little bit just ahead of Ryan Haynes and Andrew Moore Jr., but he's going to have a little bit of work to do to kind of keep pushing back forward. That number 17 car started in 7th. He quickly dropped back outside the top 10, but he's going to quickly try to regroup and recuperate, but he's got some pressure coming. That number 39 looks pretty sporty.
Yeah, some of the things these drivers do early is, they let some of the people that want to go fast by to try to save those tires for the long run. So maybe that's what the 17's doing right now, just taking his time, not really pressuring and pushing those tires here early in the race.
Saw Andrew Nieder just behind, trying to force 3 wide. Nieder's the winner of the spring race last season. Looking to see if he can go back-to-back at this track, at this race. But kind of boxed in right now in 13th, just trying to play a calm, collected game. Of course, it's only lap number 5. Still a long way to go in this race, 130 laps to be exact, but he wants to move forward quick. He doesn't want to be stuck back in traffic here. These cars right here in this group from about 9th place, Tyler Marble way back to, I want to say almost just outside the top 20, I think, maybe even, are all right here grouped together for the most part. Definitely back to Andrew Moore Jr. in 15th, a little bit of a gap back to the next couple cars, but it's a big following of drivers making their way around this racetrack in one big happy group.
Oh, crash in the back!
57 car is sliding, you see him there as the caution flag flies. It's Josh Johnson, the 64. He's up against the fence. That, I want to say, is Glenn Grigsby. He is now rolling, but a lot of cars involved. Now Andrew Russo's there as well. We'll have to take a flashback on the old BRN replay and see what on earth even happened there. It might have started with Josh Johnson, I think, in the 57. We'll go back and just double check here and see. Watching the 57 through the corner.
Looks like it all started with the 81 of Barber. Just got loose on the top side.
That's a lot of cars stacked up here. There's a lot going on in this. So we're going to go to the blimp. We're going to go to the sky. We're going to rewind it here. Because there's a lot of things that happen here. So here's the 81. He gets loose on the top side, spins down the track. The 22 nowhere to go. The 53 nowhere to go. And through all of this, 37 gets involved. And in that checkup in the background as well, you saw it. The 57 gets spun as a result. There's just a lot going on. I'm going to move this camera out from behind the cables just so we can see everything happen here. As this all happens, the stack up happens, more cars just get involved. The 76 hard impacting the outside wall there. The 27 sliding in to miss. Just about everybody found a way to be involved in that accident there in the back half of this field. I think there's one car I want to ride on board with, and that's the 87 car. This is on board with Brian Dubel, who's out back. Fast in practice, didn't qualify, so he starts out back. Watch this one. He gets to the 27, and just misses the 57 car. Thomas O'Hara almost missed the wreck, gets into somebody, puts them in the inside wall. Man, that's a lot of torn up cars in that first accident there on lap number 7.
I'm not really sure if you already talked about it, but every time we come to Vegas, there's always the topic of those bumps there, and in turns 1 and 2, how they can just completely take the wheel off your hands. That's what I think what happened to the 81. He just went up the track, got into those bumps, and the back end went around.
We'll see what happens on this restart. Sean Kaltenbach, Quentin Clark, your front row. It's Jared Bundy, Dane Cruz. Jacob Musso, your top 5. I mentioned it. We got 2 different missiles. We got the Cruz missile and the Musso missile. See how this battle plays out the first time ever tonight. Space car leads him around to get us back to green on lap number 10. Then we go green. Green flag back in the air. Back to racing here in Vegas.
Bottom working well for Colton back there. It gets clear down the backstretch. Clark now in the middle of a battle with Jared Bundy.
Side by side for a second as Kaltenbach is clear for the race lead. Bundy on the inside of Clark, but Clark going to try to wrap this top side and hang on to second place, trying to get the momentum off the top side of the corner to run away with it.
Bundy completes the pass.
Dane Cruz slots back in to 4th place ahead of Cody Matthews. Now this field got to see if they can set their sights on the driver of the number 2 machine, Kaltenbach. Start on the pole, let every lap thus far. Side by side, Dane Cruz to the inside of Quentin Clark now for 3rd place. Trying to work on the apron now in the 70 machine. 3 wide, we're going to go for 2nd. Dane and Clark both have a run. Cruz to the inside, Clark on the outside. They're both going to split Jared Bundy. Cruz to 2nd, Clark to 3rd. Bundy now gets passed by Cody Matthews for 4th. What a pass that was.
What a move by Dane Cruz and Clark down the front stretch. Reminiscent of what we saw yesterday between Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and I believe it was Denny Hamlin.
Kaltenbach continues to lead, happy with these drivers, kind of mixing it up to take themselves a little bit further back from him. Almost half a second now is back Dane Cruz. Just picking back, I see Alan Pajari in 7th place. He's got Tyler Marble trying to peek to the outside lane, see if he can't get the nose up there. Trying, just about got into him, made contact, but they keep it together. And right behind them, Andrew Niedert and Ryan Haynes side by side. They battle for the top 10 spot, or for 9th place actually, pardon me. So they head down the backstretch. Niedert and Haynes have moved up 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. Our biggest mover thus far in the race. They go all the way back to James Wallace, who's now up to 24th in the 67 machine after starting just about dead last. 39th up now to 24th. A good start to this race for our Daytona winner.
For the most part, there's some battles going on around the midfield. Currently, battle for, I believe it's 10th. And Moore Jr. trying to get around the 34. Pajari.
Yeah, Pajari starting to slide backwards now, back to 11th place. I'm starting all the way up in 8th place. He's starting to backslide now in the 34 car. Car brushing the wall in the background, keeping it straight. Everybody's still good in the back. Just trying to, oh my goodness, back in the background, Kyle Oakley sitting in the inside of Wes Hurd Jr. Oakley trying to get by the 12 machine to get up to 13th. As a battle for the lead starting to brew. Here comes the 70 of Dane Cruz. Now trying to challenge for the race lead.
And not surprised to see Dane in this position. He's already a master at saving tires, being there in the long run. Last week, felt like he had a car that could compete in the top 3. Pit strategy late in the race sent him a little bit further back, finished 7th at Phoenix. Here in his second career start, looking to possibly go for the win of this race, but first he has to take the lead away from our Echo Park winner, Sean Colton.
You can see the gaggle of cars behind the 34s. The battle for the lead. Here comes Dane Cruz charging to the inside. Trying to use the bottom lane. Not working. The run on the top side just too strong for Dane to overcome. So he stays in second. I was about to say Pajari has Oakley on his outside now, making the battle for 12th place. There's the number 7 Christian Lotion as well on the back bumper. Here comes, I believe, Danny Gutierrez, the 08 as well, to be in this mix. Up front, though, Dane Cruz is not going away. At number 70 is putting a lot of pressure on the 2 machine for this top spot, riding on board with Dane Cruz.
Trying to get that clean air in the corners. Talk about how important that is here at these 1.5 miles.
And for anybody who's tuning in here on the Fast Track Cup Series, that tunes in these broadcasts and does not really watch much else on BRN, when I say a BRN regular like Dane Cruz, you may be thinking, oh, you know, who's this guy? I've never heard of him. This guy's a man who can win. He's really, really good at the super speedways. It's really more his forte is the draft. He is a fantastic draft track driver. But he's also really good at races like this where it's more of a longer run and a longer build. He's really good at managing and maintaining his car, and you see him making this challenge for the lead. He's still on the back bumper, but there's another driver closing in too. That's the most recent winner in Las Vegas, Quentin Clark, who is right there in the background now closing in. It's Dane Cruz trying to get clear for the race lead on Sean Kaltenbach. Side by side, they'll go down the front stretch. Cruz just not able to get clear on the inside line. That's going to let Kaltenbach hold the race lead for now. And all this does too, and 94 gets to get closer in that rearview mirror.
The tank just got a little tight there for 3 and 4. Had to chase the car up the racetrack. And with these two fighting side by side, you talk about it there. Quentin Clark closing the gap. I see some 3 wide action here in a bit.
Dane Cruz getting the nose ahead for a second there on Kaltenbach. The run, though, comes on the front stretch for the number 2 on the top side. Cruz gets the run through 1 and 2. The run through 3 and 4 goes to the outside with Kaltenbach in the 2 machine as they're catching lap traffic just up ahead. Still, though, side by side for the lead. Clark is now in the picture firmly, and he's looking to see if he can find a hole to get a 2-for-1 special. Clark thought about it actually. He decides to suck back in line.
You know, continuing on what you said about Dane Cruz, you know, I talked to Dane earlier this week. He told me that you know, he doesn't really run open setup races because if anybody who watched the Fast Track and you know anything else on BRN, everything else on BRN is fixed setups. There's an open setup league. And Dane doesn't really do open setup leagues, and like you know, last week he told me that Phoenix was a little bit of was a great, you know, a great race, you know, in the I forgot how to talk. Sorry. It was a step in the right direction. That's the phrase I was looking for. You know, continuing to run these races. Of course, we talked about his second career start for Dane Cruz, but he's already putting on a show here.
Gaggle of cars from about 5th on back, all tight together. Tyler Marble has moved into 5th place. He hits the apron, just about loses it. Now they're stacked back up. Cody Matthews back up into 5th, and we're 3 wide. It's Andrew Neer there trying to send it up the middle, which he does. It's, I think, Rodriguez Matthias in the 1 right there in the background. Winner a few weeks ago at Coda, and Nieder to the wall. Marble a little loose, Spot as well a little sideways. They are racing like crazy up here in this background from 5th on back.
What a save there by Tyler Marble, 3 and 4 the last time by.
Insane save.
So they're battling pretty hard here into turn number 1.
Yeah, they're trying to fight as they're chasing Jacob Musso in the number 95, who takes his spot, takes 5th place. Up ahead, Kaltenbach drops the lead. He's slow. Did he catch the wall in the exit of 2? Gonna check back quickly. A quick flash on the VR replay. I think he might have gotten loose and caught the... Oh, yeah, he does get loose right here. Sideways goes the 2. He loses a ton of momentum. Drops the top 3 spots now as it's Dane Cruz who leads the way. So Dane Cruz takes the lead. Quentin Clark is now in 2nd. Jared Bundy shuffles his way up into 3rd. And Dane Cruz has got the clean air. And he's slowly pulling away. 2/10 almost faster that last time by over Quentin Clark. Jared Bundy was about even with him in 3rd, but he's got to make his way around the 94.
Some amazing racing we've seen so far here tonight, and it's still early in the race.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go. Just about 100 laps to go at the line this time by. Cruz leads. Bundy is battling Kaltenbach for 3rd as Kaltenbach's charging back after the slide from the race lead, dropping him back to 4th. Quentin Clark is in 2nd steadily, not too far ahead of the field, but still right there within grasp. Kaltenbach trying back to the inside of Bundy. And look at Musso cutting way down the apron. Kaltenbach going to take him down there, not letting him get by to the inside. Musso wanted to go and see if he can take them both at the same time. See a battle happening. Andrew Nieder trying to get by Brett Spaulding in the 7th place battle. 36 car on his back bumper. kind of not settling, but I'd say kind of easing up here. The battles up front, kind of spacing things out. So got 5 for 4th, now chasing Kaltenbach for 3rd place. Now, a thing to note, Enrique, I'm not sure what the fuel mileage situation is. I'm not sure how long they could go. But I would say the drivers that came down pit road under the first and only caution so far in this race, I think they're going to have a chance to stretch it out and play a different strategy. I'd have to get some numbers from you, though, before I can really say that. Do you know what the fuel mileage is looking like for these guys today?
Not really. You can give me a second. I could check for that.
Battle heating up for 3rd place, and 2nd place possibly too, for that matter, is Musso and Bundy battling. Got another battle happening further back. 3 wide we go down the backstretch. Wes Hurd, Brandon Saylor, almost 4 wide. Cody Matthews shuffling back in the 10 car. Brandon Saylor almost from out of nowhere dives it 4 wide almost, and he takes it up to 12th place in a daring move. That happens. Quentin Clark's got some company now. He's got Kaltenbach on his back bumper. Jacob Musso is in 4th, a little bit further back. But the thing is, they are now about a second behind our race leader, Dane Cruz. You see a car rolling off of pit lane right now. I think that's John Broussard in the 53. Indeed it is. He had damage earlier in this race. He was involved in that accident back on lap number 7. So just dealing with that right now. You see Clark holding the bottom lane. Kaltenbach running a higher line. Oh, Clark gets the wall right in front of Kaltenbach, right in front of Musso. Musso into the back of the 2. Heavy damage on the 94 now. It's Jared Bundy taking advantage. Kaltenbach drifting up the track into Musso. Shoving it 3 wide on the top is Jared Bundy, who'll take 2nd place. Kaltenbach and Clark still side by side for 4th place as things run. Kaltenbach sliding up the track in the number 2 car. And Neidert and Marble now gonna go by. Dicey racing between these drivers. I think the damage on the 2 is gonna hinder him. Oh my goodness, Jared Bundy's coming to pit road. They were tight on him as he peeled off. It's lap 46. I'd say that's about the number. So getting ready to see maybe a ton more pit stops coming up here soon. A lot of cars struggling, a lot of cars battling, and everybody doing that from 2nd on back. That's allowing Dane Cruz a 2.5 second lead now over the field.
Yeah, and going back to what you told me about the fuel situation, I believe they are allowed to go the full fuel tank, so it should be the same fuel window as the real life Cup cars, so around 40 to 45 laps.
So that makes this about maybe a 2-stopper of a race with that caution that came out, helping them get to a close to 2-stop situation.
Of course, some drivers might allow it to go for the fuel saving strategy, might be able to stretch it to about 50.
And so with the pit stops, you see the gap growing even bigger. Andrew Nieder gets up to second place through all of this. Dane Cruz is now well ahead of this field. Kaltenbach has drifted back to 7th place, and now Dane Cruz is coming to pit road. Race leader is on. Andrew Nieder stays out, and he'll take the race lead from the 70 car. So as they make their way on the backstretch, I expect Nieder to maybe pit in the next lap or two. And of course, there's guys that topped off on fuel under the caution. You see Tyler Marble is peeling off the pit this time now. I would say maybe a guy, well, I was about to say a guy like Jeff Shutt, but he is slowing to come to pit road, almost missed pit road, sliding onto pit road.
Oh.
But saving it. I was going to say guys that maybe pit under that caution might try to risk it and stay out. But so far, really not. The highest running of those drivers, it looks like, is James Wallace in 10th. Jake Hicks, I think, came down pit road, didn't take service, though. It's Brandon Saylor peeling off on the pit road now. The race leader is still Andrew Nieder in the number 36 machine. So as they continue to stay on the racetrack, they're at lap 52 right now. They had a caution to run some pace laps. So able to kind of run it on that. Of the drivers that have pit so far, Dane Cruz is first of those, 2 seconds ahead of what would be second place off the pit cycle. Jared Bundy, pardon me. There's more drivers peeling off onto pit road, watching Nieder to see what he decides to do this time by. He is running lower on the track. I think he might be coming to pit road. No, he stays out. But we're at lap 53. I would assume the way they're running, they're not hoping for a caution, but what they're doing is they're running it longer to try and get a shorter stop at the end of this race, or at the very least, having a later stop in the race to have fresher tires near the end of it. I'm not sure if that's going to pay off for some of these drivers. They might get some good finishing positions out of it, but it's not going to be the race win that they're wanting, I would say.
Yeah, this is sort of a similar situation to what I saw last week at Phoenix. You know, some of the drivers pitting earlier. For example, race winner Tai Polito last week pitted a couple laps. You know, pitted on the same lap as the race leader at the time, Quentin Clark. Quentin just had a bad stop, and that's another point. You know, Vegas is a tricky pit road entrance, and some of these drivers, you know, we saw it a few minutes ago with one of them sliding on pit road. So you just gotta be perfect on your marks, and you know, trying to not get a mistake there that could possibly cost you a chance at getting the win.
It's all about execution. It's all it's about. You have to make your right stop. You have to make the perfect stop. You know, both times or all 3 times you're on pit road. You cannot afford to make a mistake, because a mistake could be the difference between you winning this race and walking away, scratching your head, wondering, what could I have done better? So watching for the leaders to eventually come to pit road. Lap 57. Enrique, you're saying it's about the same as real life, but they're running it pretty long here, I would say.
You know, kind of sort of surprised here with the pace they're running. Of course, don't really hear the drivers using the clutch or anything. Maybe you know, of course, real life with the stages, and the stage cautions, it really changes the way, you know, drivers come down pit road. Might be a little bit of a bigger fuel window than I expected. Because we saw in 2024, you know, I had to make that reference. Joey Logano made it about 72 laps on a single tank of fuel.
Don't make me mute you. You didn't have to bring up Joey Logano. Well, anyways, I think our second place car, Brett Spot, is finally dropping off to come to pit road at lap number 59. And yeah, I mean, it's running really long. Running really, really long here. Working out, I would say, so far. We'll see how it all shakes out when these guys come down and they make their stops. So, I mean, as they run right now, the drivers that have pit, they're starting to hit double-digit lap counts. Dane Cruz is ahead by 4 seconds over Jared Bundy. He's in 13th place right now. He's ahead of the race leader right now, Andrew Nieder.
I actually get a pass here for the lead. Wes Hurd Jr. has made up ground on Andrew Nieder. He's at the top side of the racetrack. Trying to get the runs coming out of the corners.
And they're duking it out here. 64 laps. I mean, with the caution definitely helped them save fuel, but they're not going to make it around and make this a one-stop.
Slow car in turn 2. Down the backstretch. Not bad for interrupting, but there's a slow car. Jacob Musso in the 95.
Yeah, he is slow on the racetrack right now. Slow up here on the top side. Gonna bump it back. Was slow. Oh, he went through the grass. That's what he did. He got spun on the front stretch.
Oh, and went around in turn 1. Surprised I didn't bring out with a caution. But oh my goodness, right onto the traffic.
And he's passing the race, or battling with the race leaders right now.
Andrew Nieder finally come down pit road.
So he'll come to pit road. Wes Hurd Jr. will stay out on the racetrack. Ty Ippolito right there as well, our race winner last week at Phoenix. Ippolito is a race leader.
tied pretty intense after the win last week. You know, a couple of weeks ago at Daytona, we saw him dominate the race and overall have a pretty good day at Daytona. Just lost right there at the end. And then comes to Phoenix, battles around the top 5 all day long, and is right there at the end to capitalize on the mistake made by Quentin Clark.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you know, in racing, it's not about how well you dominate, it's just about how you get lucky at times. You know, sometimes it's not about being the best car on track, it's about being the one who can benefit the most. And that's what happened last week for Quentin Clark. Or for Ippolito, pardon me. I see the 48 of Tyler Marble trying to get by on the outside. Tyler Marble currently is 12th place. He has already pit, of course. As we got 2 more pitting, that Wes Hurd is on pit road, as is Jake Hickson and Tracy Powers. 3 cars coming to pit lane this time by. Ippolito on the bottom lane. Could he be pitting this time? It looks like he's staying out for now.
See how long Ippolito has stayed out. I was almost saying it almost more than half the race, almost on a single tank of fuel. If we talk about him pitting under that caution, topping off, still very surprised to see this 19 as he's actually coming in this time.
I say he looks like he should be coming this time by, and he is. Now, what I was kind of shocked about is the fact that he's done this 70 laps now, over half the race on this one stop. Jeff Marble, however, I think he can run a little longer. This 15 machine, he came down pit road. He topped off on fuel, got some damage repairs. Part of the grass. I think it's Alan Pajari. No, that's O'Hara? No. Jeff Shutt in the 27. Went cutting the grass for a minute there. He gets it back on the track, and we're still green. A caution now would definitely... I mean, it wouldn't hurt some of the drivers. It hurt some drivers in the field, but it wouldn't hurt everybody.
Jeff Marble coming down pit road this time.
Yes, so Marble will come down. Caution's out! Jared Lipster is around in turn 1. What could be a perfectly timed yellow for the driver of the 15, as well as maybe for the 19 car of Ty Ippolito. We'll see how they cycle out, but the caution flag flies for just a second time tonight during these pit cycles. It's going to be huge to see how this shakes the field up.
And one driver who's going to be able to heavily benefit off this caution is that number 90 of Bill Benedict.
Here's your BRN replay of Lipster going around the front bumper of Cody Matthews. Maybe just not off Cody Matthews. The 98 got loose ahead. 53 hits him there. You just reacted to something, Enrique. What just happened?
Yeah, not really sure, but I think the 90 is out of gas. He might have been waiting for the pace car. I'm sure he just almost stopped there on the entrance of pit road.
I think he might have been waiting for the pace car. He should have been good on fuel, but Dane Cruz now going to lead this field back to pit lane. And I feel like we're going to have some gamblers now. It is Las Vegas. It is only going to make the most sense in the world that we have some gambling taking place. Some drivers taking a chance and taking a one-stop strategy here that we're seeing that kind of almost worked out in their favor. Ippolito and Marble are off pit lane first and second because they did not come down pit road under this caution. The rest of the field, of course, pulls down to get their tires and fuel. We'll see how they win the race off pit road. Bill Benedict, because of entering pit lane first, he wins the race off over Dane Cruz. Jared Bundy, Danny Gutierrez, and Quentin Clark are your top 5 off of pit lane. But they're not the first cars on the track because Jeff Marble, Ty Ippolito, the caution coming out at just the perfect time for them. They are able to go 1 and 2 now coming for this next restart. And with how long they stretched the fuel, how long they ran, I'd be shocked for them to have to come back down to pit road.
And, you know, the drivers have seen the 15 and the 19 just stretch it as long as they have. You know, everyone has to go on. You know, do I go on this one strategy? You know, we saw them stay out for as long as they did, and they managed to keep on, hold on for the lead. You know, those who were in the top 5, you know, stay up there for a long, long time. So it's going to be nice to see who's going to be able to capture the win here at Vegas, who has the right strategy, who plays their cards right, and gets the win here in Sin City.
So when we restart here, race leader now, Jeff Marble, started 37th in this race. Pit strategy puts him up near the front. Same with Ty Ippolito, same with Bill Benedict. They're now up here in contention. Especially Bill Benedict as well. He started 32nd in this race. The call to stay out, the caution comes out at the right time, and he gets up there. So here we go. One more lap, actually, on the pace car. We doubled up maybe a lap too soon, or had to add an extra lap. So here we go. When we go back green here, it'll be on lap number 76. The math is a little too hard for me to math right now. I want to say it's going to be 49 laps to go, I think, when we go back racing. If I'm right, I'm right. Be cool. Pace car is off. Green flag back in the air. Back racing here in Vegas. Marble Ippolito about even on the launch.
Ippolito with a nose ahead here in turn number 1. He's going to clear for the lead.
Here comes Dane Cruz on the top side as well. In the 70 machine to second. We're 3 wide further back here. Bill Benedict trying to hang on to it here in a swarm of cars. Oh, Oakley and Matthias both start to the bottom lane.
Wild moves being made here.
It's go time.
Up ahead, battle for the lead. There goes Dane Cruz to the outside of Ippolito into turn number 1. He's going to be able to clear.
Oh, he catches the wall. Catches the wall, but still enough momentum to take the race lead.
Oh, caution is out.
Wrecking the back of the field. John Broussard having a rough night in the 53 car. He is around on the front stretch. Heavy damage on the nose of that car. Could be the end of his race. But it puts us under the yellow on lap number 79. Taking a look at the BRN replay to see what happened to poor old John. Been a rough go for that 53 Marines Chevy Camaro tonight. Or, pardon me, it's a Chevy. So we'll take a look at the replay. Just gets loose off turn 4. Spins it back up the racetrack into the outside wall. Heavy contact for that 53 car. You'll see it here off of turn 4. The back of this field, bright red car. Actually, contact here with the 87 of Brian Dubel. Spins around right in front of Albert Williams. And triggers the caution. John was already 3 laps down when this happened. Just trying to finish the race in that 53 car. So we'll reset here. Dane Cruz is your race leader. Ty Ippolito in second. Danny Gutierrez is now up to third. Jared Bundy is fourth. Quentin Clark is now fifth. We'll take a quick moment to step away with a word from Alloy Wheel Repair. We'll be back here to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Las Vegas Spring 200 here at Las Vegas. Getting ready to go back racing here on lap number 83, I believe is when we'll get the green flag back in the air. Watching a good race so far here at Las Vegas. A couple incidents have kind of shaking up the way this race is run. We had a long green flag run until a caution came out during the pit stops, which led to a shakeup and then quickly slotted back into Dane Cruz taking the race lead away from Ty Ippolito. Danny Gutierrez has gotten himself up to third as well throughout this exchange. Jared Bundy has had a really good run so far tonight. He sits in fourth. And Quentin Clark, last week's dominant car at Phoenix, the defending winner at Vegas, winning in the fall. Bleh. Last year, he won October's Las Vegas race in the Chase. He now comes in 5th place on this restart as we get ready to go back green on lap number 83. When we go back green, it'll be 52 laps to go. So as we get ready to go back green, Dane Cruz is your race leader. We're coming back to green. Albert Williams, I'm not sure what's going on here with the 81 car. I think he just... I think he saw what... I think it was Jeb Burton. And a caution is going to fly Michael Mueller's around. I believe it's a 90. A Bill Benedict. Tracy Powers as well was involved. I had no clue what was going on there. Okay. Well, we'll go back to the BRN replay. We'll have another restart. I think Enrique was muted. My fault. We'll get that fixed. I had him feeding me hockey scores. Taking a look at the BRN replay to see what happened on this restart. We're starting to stack up here. They stack up on the top side. Behind Rodriguez Matthias. Actually behind the 77. And then just around they all go. 37 Andrew Moore Jr. didn't get going as well as he could have. Right there, you see. And everybody taking a base back, another stack up. I don't know if he missed a couple shifts or what, but just sends a couple cars around here on the front stretch after the start-finish line.
You know, these cautions, they're really helping out those guys that are looking to make it on one more stop from here on out.
Yeah.
Also help some drivers like Ippolito. You know, we talk about how he made it 70 laps on a fuel tank. Yeah, we had a caution there in that first run, but you know, these cautions are really benefiting some of these guys.
It's benefiting the whole field. Just staying out, getting these caution laps, pacing around to get to the end of this race. 12 laps since Dane Cruz was on pit road, and because of this now, we're coming around. We've got 50 laps to go. It'd be 62 laps on the run, but multiple caution laps is definitely going to be the helper to allow him to make it. So we're going to get back double file and go for a restart again on lap number 87. So here we go. Dane Cruz, your race leader. Ty Ippolito second. Danny Gutierrez, Jared Bundy, and Quentin Clark are your top 5 as we get ready to go back racing. Dane Cruz looking to put on a performance for the ages and to take off with this one into the Vegas sunset. But does anybody else have anything for that 70 car as they hit the restart zone? Green flag back in the air. We'll see. Do they stack up again on the outside lane? Looks like we're going to get a good launch. And we're good going back green.
Good launch by Cruz. He clears. Now here comes Danny Gutierrez putting the pressure on the 19.
Ooh, Bundy, it might be forced 3 wide here. Look at Cody Matthews trying the top side. Ooh, two keeping it off each other as Clark goes on the apron.
But Clark trying to make his way back up to the field.
He is pushing that 3-car in the corner. And look who's coming up on his back bumper now. It's Tyler Marble with a 48.
As battle up front. Battle up front heating up. Danny Gutierrez closing in on the 70 of Dane Cruz.
Gutierrez all over the back bumper of Dane Cruz, giving him a run for his money. Cruz hanging tough for now as we got 3 wide yet again. Clark shoving it through the middle of Bundy and Matthews. And succeeding. Clark now up to 4th. Matthews still hanging tough in 5th. Back to the outside of the 94. Of those 3 drivers that had the strategy almost working out for him with the caution, Ty Ippolito is currently in 3rd. Jeff Marble is back in 9th. And Bill Bennett was involved in the accident. He's back in 25th place right now, just for anybody keeping tabs on that one. But Ippolito having a really good, off strategy call to hold in the top 3 right now.
And still putting up decent lap times here. Very close to what top 2 are running. Sometimes with this next-gen car, all that you need is just to get up front, get some clean air on the nose. You get a completely different car.
Yeah, it's a different beast when you have that no traffic in front of you. When you are all by yourself and you just have, a clear windshield, the car handles so much different compared to when you got someone ahead of you. So Gutierrez and Cruz have 2 different handling style cars right now, but even then, Gutierrez is doing really good in that draft, in that wake of the 70 car to stay on his back bumper and keep pressure on him.
Yeah, battle for 3rd now, heating up. Quentin Clark made it to the inside. He's going to be able to clear here to turn number 1.
Quentin Clark into 3rd. Chasing down the top 2 drivers. Danny Gutierrez, really quiet move up to the front of this field. Started out back in this race, and has quietly climbed his way now to a second place running position here, coming up on about 40 laps to go, or 30 laps to go, pardon me, 37 to be exact. Having a really good run so far, looking to finish it off here. Maybe try for the win, if not, at least a top 3 finish would be good. Further back, Jared Bundy side by side with Tai Ippolito now for 5th place. The 3 machine making strong headwinds back towards the front. Tyler Marble right behind them. Spod currently at 8th. Jeff Marble, he's still hanging on in the top 10, just ahead of Brandon Saylor in the 24 machine. As you see side by side, Nieder and John and it's Jacob Musso in the 95. Musso is currently the first car 1 lap down, back in 29th place. He's just hoping for another caution. That's all he wants in this 95 car. He wants to go to yellow so he can get back into this battle for positions. Right now, just kind of picking cars off one by one through the field, trying to see if he can unlap himself before we get a yellow flag, or at the very least just gives him a better chance at trying to win this race. Right now, he is the lucky dog in the 95 car. Caution's out! There it is! Oh, Andrew Russo. That's Bill Benedict in the outside wall. I think I just saw another car spin to the apron. That might have been Michael Mueller. Indeed it was. Caution is out. Well, there's your lucky dog, Mr. Musso. He's going to be back on the lead lap. Checking back on the BRN replay to see what exactly happened to the 99. Michael Mueller went for a spin in the inside, but something had to happen ahead. Indeed, something happened ahead. Looks like Wes Hurd Jr. got a little contact, got a little sideways. Actually, no, he gets loose. Andrew Russo nowhere to go. Gets into him. Bill Benedict again nowhere to go. And Mueller trying to slow it down. He spins. Tags the inside wall.
Now we're going to get a restart with less than 30 laps to go in this race. No, everyone fresh tires. Set themselves up here for this final run to the end.
Yeah, it's all about coming to pit road, making your stop in this race, and putting yourself in a position to win. We're not at a point where you can gamble, really. I don't think 2 tires is going to be a call at all whatsoever. 29 laps since they last came down pit road at the minimum. And on top of that, just the fact of having run these caution laps and everything, the cycles on these tires, I would not want to be trying to just do left sides only, or right sides only, pardon me. We'll see what they decide, though. They may decide to do that. Someone's going to take a risk, I would imagine, but we'll see. Race off pit road. Dane Cruz wins it over Danny Gutierrez. Quentin Clark, Cody Matthews, and Tyler Marble are your top 5. We did have 2 cars stay out under this one as well. Andrew Russo in the 41, Jeff Shutt in the 27. Not sure if they'll pull it on pit road when we come back around, but we'll see. They're going to stay out here. Enrique, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah, not really sure where it's gonna go for the 41 and the 27. You know, with the amount of laps we have to go and how fast Dane Cruz and some of the guys behind him have been, I don't really know what the plan is for these two. They might be just hoping for a caution in the next few laps to try to get some pressure tires. But even with the 27, I mean, the 27 has some big front end damage to his race car.
I mean, this honestly, Enrique, to put a gambling spin on this one, this feels like hitting on 19. When you're playing blackjack, blackjack, you need 21, and you're gonna hit on 19. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if I like this call, but that's the call they're making. We'll see how it all shakes out. Andrew Russo, Jeff Shutt are your race leaders coming to the restart with 30 laps to go. Dane Cruz, Dana Gutierrez, Quentin Clark are your top 5. Let's go. Stack up on the outside lane. Everybody gets through okay. Meanwhile, Dane Cruz trying to shove past for second. Now shoving back past Russo. Shoving him up the track if he can. Trying to get back to the race lead. Gutierrez trying to find a hole back through. He got passed by Tyler Marble in the number 48 machine as Cruz getting by Russo now to the top spot.
Quentin Clark. Russo up the racetrack there. Yeah, Quentin Clark got to make the move. He's going to clear for second.
And now he gets to try to chase down Dane Cruz in these final laps.
Those two on old tires still trying to hang on here. Jeff Shutt back to 7th. Andrew Russo about to get past for 6th. Oh, pretty precarious situation for the 10 of Cody Matthews. He's in the middle of those two cars.
And they are all over the place here. 3 wide. They're 3 by 3. Look at Josh Johnson trying to shove his nose in here. Oh, sliding wrecking in the back. Oh, up and almost over. Alan Pajari in the inside wall. And with that, another restart. Late in this going of this race, we'll go back to the BRN replay and show you how this all transpired. So the 77 get turned sideways in the background, and it was on like Donkey Kong from there. Right here, just off the front bumper, interneatered. See the 12 and the 8 cars and everybody kind of getting tagged. Right there, Pajiri. How did he not go over?
Up in the air.
Right here, the 34, contact wheel to wheel. I think help from Jake Hickson keeps him on the ground. And he stays put, but hits the inside wall, damage on the 34 machine. That's going to lead us to another restart here.
Well, surprising. that Jeff Shutt is staying out on the racetrack still. And Andrew Russo, we talked about him possibly wanted to come down under this caution. He's going to do so, but Jeff Shutt stays on the racetrack with those older tires.
That's definitely a call to make. I don't know how to feel about that call. I mean, late race, more cars wrecking, whatever, that gives you more shots at it, I guess, the best way to put it.
Another little bit of an update for you. The Penguins have scored twice in the last 3 minutes.
Hell yeah. Go Penguins. So we should be getting ready to restart once again.
And now it's going to be an all-out brawl between these two on the front row. Talk about Dane Cruz, how fast it's been today. Quentin Clark trying to get redemption from last week.
Here we go. We're going to restart this race. 23 laps to go. It's Cruz, Clark, Marble, Gutierrez, Bundy, the top 5 coming to the restart zone. Cruz in control. He'll push the gas pedal down to the floor and get us back to green.
Cruz is gonna clear off turn number 2. But barely, he still has the run with the 94. Now Clark in a side-by-side battle with Tyler Marble.
Side by side for a second they go. Darting, dicing. Man, that's hard to say. Get your tongue twisted on that one. It's further back, a big gaggle of cars, 3 wide here. Battling for any position they can take. As Cody Matthews almost slides up into Josh Johnson. But it's all gravy. It's all side by side now. A pass for second. Tyler Marble to the second spot.
You up the racetrack there. And now blocking the 94 all the way down to the turn number 1. Just 20 laps to go here in Vegas. Everybody has to go all in if they want to capture the win.
Oh, cars in the grass. Tracy Powers.
Oh.
Andrew Russo are in the grass. I think it's Roger Rios Matthias in the background as well. TJ Bartle was slow, but he's still going. And through all that, we stay green. Dane Cruz solidly in the lead over Tyler Marble and Quentin Clark. Danny Gutierrez gets into 4th. Jared Bundy gets by Josh Johnson for 5th. And how about Josh Johnson? An up and down race for the driver, the number 57 machine. He now finds himself contending for a top 5 at the end of this one. How about a resilient effort from him?
He's trying to use the top of the racetrack to his advantage. Not really sending anyone up there, right up against the wall.
And on board of them, he tries to chase down the 3 of Jared Bundy. Trying to get there, just really got the pace to do so, I would say. The front, Dane Cruz is your race leader, coming around this time by 16 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Dane Cruz, you mentioned he made his debut in this league last week at Phoenix, an 11th place run for the 70 camp. Coming into a race like here at Las Vegas, he definitely had a track like this circled. He's really good at these mile-and-a-halves in the next-gen kart specifically. And so he comes out here and he shows up and he shows out. Right now, leading the field with a dominant car tonight and looking to close it down and take the checker flag home. 16 laps to go for the number 70 machine. And another recovery to talk about tonight. 13th place run right now for him. He's still working forward, though. Jacob Musso in the 95. I think if we get another caution in this race and he has a shot to restart with the pack tightened back up, he's got a good ability to try to win this race. But up ahead of him, Jake Hickson, the 16, another driver who has made his way forward all race long. He finds himself battling for a top 10 at the end of this one. But it is the 72 Diecast, 15 laps to go. 72diecast.com for all your new and used diecast needs. Check out 72diecast.com. You don't got to tell them Dawson sent you, but you can definitely say that. It won't hurt you. Might help you. Oh, 3 wide, Doring, contact made. Oakley, Hickson, and Spod. Musso and Coltonbach right behind this battle. As a battle is on for second. Tyler Marble and Quentin Clark with his 3 wide. Tight squeeze. Oh, there goes Oakley. Oakley's going to cut the grass. He's going to drop a ton of spots now. Back to the back of the top 20 and further back goes the 17, but he keeps it straight. We stay green. Spot in the wall. And through all that, Tyler Marble has taken over second from Quentin Clark. He's going to try to chase down Dane Cruz if he can, but Clark's fighting back on the inside. Gotta be a wonderful sight if you're Dane Cruz seeing this in your mirror.
Yeah, everybody just giving it everything they've got with less than 15 to go. Oh, caution is out!
Marcus Emerson's around in the back in turn 4. And with just 11 to go.
Yeah, that is a caution that Dane Cruz did not want to see.
Taking a look back at BRN replay, entering turns 3 and 4, the 8 car. Anthony Hanley just gets in the back of the 22 and up the track he goes into the outside wall. Racing for 21st place. Oh, just gets in a little hot, doesn't think he's slowing down. Gets in the back of the 22, 22 overcorrects. Into the outside wall he goes. But now the decisions have to be made, as the field has to wait for the pace car to loop its way around. Oh no! No! This is going to cost a problem because of the pace car being so far behind. Drivers are going to get a free pit stop out of it. Ippolito and Hickson, they're going to pit. expecting the rest of the field to stay out, or at least a good majority might stay out on this one. But the way that changes things, anybody that was in the top 10, they didn't get a choice to pit. They were forced to stay out.
And you know what might help Dane Cruz and those guys is that the drivers that just came down pit road, they're going to be buried in the field.
Yeah, we'll have to see how good the fresh tires can pay off for a driver like Ty Ippolito, who rolls off pit lane with Jake Hickson behind him. He is going to be 21st place coming off of pit lane. Man. I mean, it's late enough in the race. They likely weren't going to pit. But the ability to pit being taken away from you, it's still a big blow, you know, losing the choice on whether you pit or not. Not having that option, not having that ability. It's definitely crucial for some of these drivers, some of these teams. But we'll see how they're able to overcome it. Because, of course, it's not about how well you do when things go your way. It's how well you do when things kind of throw a curveball at you, kind of take you out of it, and don't allow you to make your own decisions, I guess is the best way to put it, which is a perfect lead-in for tomorrow night's race. Of course, the Slide Job Racing League still going strong here in season number 16. Tomorrow night, it's going to be a fun one. Talladega Super Speedway coming here 9 p.m. Eastern on BRN. The drivers, the Slide Job Racing League, take on the high banks of Talladega for some super speedway racing on Tuesday nights. Tune in for that one, 9 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow night here on BRN. Of course, next week, we'll be heading to Darlington Raceway. Looking forward to that one. Going to have a lot of fun there. I love Darlington, and always puts on a pretty decent show, and I think it's going to put on a pretty decent show for these drivers as well.
Definitely going to be exciting at Talladega there tomorrow. Gotta see if we can get the 22 team a good finish there. Get some points on the board.
I won't be racing. I'll be in the booth, so don't worry. So as we get ready to come back around and go back green, 8 laps to go. Dane Cruz, Quentin Clark, Tyler Marble, Danny Gutierrez, and Jared Bundy are your top 5 as we come to the restart zone. Dane Cruz matches the gas, gets us back to racing. 8 laps to go, stacking up a little bit there on the inside line. And you see quickly the moves being made. It's go time.
This restart, Cruz is not going to get clear of Clark.
Oh, they're wrecking Peg in the back!
Big crash!
Somehow everybody points in the right direction. Kaltenbach was about turned. He saved it. Side by side for the race lead. Clark and Cruz dooring each other. At the line that time, give it to Dane Cruz by maybe just 1,000th of a second.
Oh, Dane up the racetrack!
Clark gonna go up the racetrack. Clark's gonna get in the wall. And here...
Yes! Oh, contact!
Still side by side. Cruz and Clark as they come out of turn number 4. Gutierrez and Marble battle for third. 6 laps to go.
And now you're Dane Cruz. You have to make a decision here because Clark is just going to keep pinching you in the corners. He's going to keep getting the runs. More contact.
Cruz still holds the bottom. Clark trying to pinch in the top lane, trying to see if he can hold down that 70 and get the run of the line every time. 5 laps to go for Quentin Clark and Dane Cruz. 1 and 2, side by side.
Clark getting the run off the corner. He's going to be able to clear.
And he'll clear Dane Cruz. Now, can Dane recoup and try to get back by the 94? 4 laps left. I think Dane has some pretty good speed on the top side. If he can keep holding on the top lane, he can try to find his way around the 94.
He's going all the way to the top side of the racetrack, trying to get the run.
Cars scattering everywhere, but that time by, Clark had a really good 1 and 2. See Marble going way high as well now. Gutierrez trying it as well. Cruz not getting the run he needs. With just 3 laps to go, he really needs a big run like he's got down on turn number 4. Oh, this is going to be a big run for Cruz as he cut to the inside of the... Oh, Rocky in the back!
Crashing, caution!
Josh Johnson, Andrew Neidert hard on the inside wall!
Hard into the inside.
Last season's spring winner takes a big lick, as does Josh Johnson, and we will have overtime. Taking a look back.
Yeah, with that, welcome back Ty Molino, up to 6th.
Jeff Marble, Andrew Neidert, and Josh Johnson make contact. Oh, and right there, Brett Spaulding gets into it. But there was a hellacious hit for the 36 of Andrew Neidert. His race is done here at Vegas. He's not going to go back-to-back in spring. Trying to get in the hole 3 wide. Contact with Marble. Into Johnson, then right here the tag, bang, and around he goes along for the ride. Oh! And I couldn't tell who that was that threaded the needle. I want to say, I don't think that was Kaltenbach, but that was an insane run to the middle there just to miss that accident. We're going to check back and see. I think it might have been Kaltenbach. He got tagged too, and you see the air time that 36 took when he hit that inside wall. He got up off the ground. Heavy, heavy hit for the driver of the number 36. Just a helpless feeling when you're along for the ride and just, oh man. Thank God we're not racing real cars, because that would have been bad. Brian Dubel in the number 87 also gets a piece of that one. That's going to be Neidert's night. So now we're into overtime here in Las Vegas. We want some house money. Why not go ahead and spend it and see what we can do in these last couple laps? So we'll go racing. Of course, a green, white, checkered, how they work. If you're new to the racing world for some reason, this is your first time watching any kind of racing for that matter with overtime, here's how it works. We will get the green flag with just 2 laps of racing left here at Las Vegas. The leaders will take the green flag on that lap. If a caution comes out before we get around a lap, we'll re-rack them, restack them, and do another restart. If we get around and take the white flag, last lap of the race, we will race to the checkered flag. And so you'll see these guys get a little crazy, get a little zany, get a little balls to the walls to try and be the ones to win. Of course, like I said, we have to get the white flag for it to be official. If we get a caution before the white flag, we'll re-rack them and restart again and do another 2-lap shootout.
And now for this restart, Dane Cruz on the outside. We saw the last restart. Quentin Clark just pinched the 70 down to the inside, got the run off the corner. We'll see if the 70 can get the launch that he needs on this restart to stay in touch with the 94 as he come out of turn 2.
Well, Dane Cruz ain't gonna have a short memory for that. He knows what happened that last restart, and he's very much able to try to replicate the same as he lines up on the outside lane for this restart. It's overtime here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 2 laps to determine it here in Sin City. Who's going to pay out and cash out big and hit the jackpot? Green flag going to fly. Overtime here in Vegas.
Ooh, good launch for the Stain.
Hopefully not too good of a launch to take him and penalize him. Inside there you see Ippolito trying to force the issue. Clark going to charge back to the race lead. Can Cruz keep it on the top side? No, Clark will clear.
With just a lap and a half to go, coming back to the white flag. Dane is going to need a very good lap here. He wants to get up to the 94.
Good run coming. White flag is out. Final lap here in Vegas. Battle on for fourth in the background. Jacob Musso trying to recover.
Oh, Dane up the racetrack in 1 and 2. He's in the wall.
In the wall, maintaining speed, but it's not going to be enough. Last week, the dominant car of the race, a mistake, takes the checkered flag away from him, and he finishes runner-up. This week, it's the opposite. The dominant car has a problem, and he takes control. It's Quentin Clark winning in Vegas.
And after the disappointment of last week, Quentin Clark comes to Vegas and captures the win.
He'll have to reset and try to burn it out again. So he'll burn it down on the front stretch. Notching his 8th career victory here in the Fast Track Cup Series. That's especially got to feel good after 3 straight runner-up finishes.
What about that? A backwards burnout.
Yeah.
Kind of what we saw with Tyler Reddick at Echo Park a couple of weeks ago.
So as he celebrates, we'll take a look at our finishing results from tonight's race. Quentin Clark, he can only finish second so many times. He takes home the checkered flag tonight over Dane Cruz, who finishes in second. Then it was Danny Gutierrez. Jacob Musso recovers to fourth. The Musso missile got up there in the end. And Ty Ippolito finishing in fifth. Tyler Marble, Sean Kaltenbach with a good recovery as well in seventh. And Jeff Marble, a great run to finish in eighth tonight. And Christian Lotion in ninth. And Jared Bundy rounding out the top 10.
Cody Matthews finishes 11th. That's Quentin Clark blows the engine. Roger Rios Matias comes back to finish 12th. Jeffrey Sosa in 13th. Brandon Saylor in 14th. Jeff Shutt comes home in the top 15. Wes Hurt Jr. in 16th. Glenn Grigsby in 17th with Anthony Handley in 18th. Alan Pajari 19th. Running up your top 20 is TJ Bartle.
You see the rest of the field here. 21st, Brian Dubel on back as the race was finished here under green. Somehow we got around for a green checkered finish, but man, what a crazy, hectic, chaotic race. And tonight's scoring is all messed up from drivers not finishing, not scoring laps where they should have and things like that. It's kind of weird how it all gets scored at the end of things. So we'll see if we can talk to our top 3 finishers here tonight. Let's see if we can get a hold of them. And we'll start with our 3rd place finisher, that being Danny Gutierrez. Hey, Danny Gutierrez, Dustin out on the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, the race kind of got to that point in the middle of it where it was all nice and calm, and then it decided to just kind of flip itself on its head. We had a lot of chaos, a lot of back and forth, but you come away with a third place run today. What was that race like for you behind the wheel of that number 08 machine?
Oh man, I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, it was challenging. You just had to drive the car, and I was having a blast. I think I came from like 26th place.
Yeah, absolutely. You came from back in the field tonight, started 27th and got all the way up to third, or 34th part, or yeah, 27th. I'm words, numbers. But yeah, you were able to come back. You have a good run like this tonight, especially how the season has started for you. Just what is that like, to kind of, get this season off and running and, getting a top three finish, in the first five races?
Yeah, I had to shake off the cobwebs. I made a lot of mistakes in the first few races, and Bossman had to talk to me, and I had to get my stuff together. So here we are, just riding around trying to be safe.
Absolutely. Well, you got home safe. You got home in third. What was that? What's that like for you? Just getting ready. Heading into the more regular races of the season too. More mile and a halfs coming up, and more just different tracks like that compared to where we start off with the super speedways and the road courses.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The biggest thing is just to stay out of trouble. I think if I could stay out of trouble, I'll be good for the rest of the short tracks and anything mile and a halfs and lower.
Alrighty, well, we'll see how it all pans out, but it starts off pretty strong. A third place run for you tonight, Danny. Teammates, sponsors, shoutouts. What got you here on the podium tonight?
Yeah, first and foremost, I got to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and I got to thank all my teammates, each and every one of them, and you guys for doing this. And yeah, everybody that puts this together, I really appreciate it. This is my getaway, and I'm having fun right now.
Well, alrighty, Danny Gutierrez. He comes home third here tonight in Las Vegas. Congrats on the third place run, Danny.
Thank you.
And we'll see if we can dial up our second place finisher, Mr. Dane Cruz.
Hey, Dane Cruz, is Enrique Kukalan on Dawson Allen up at the BRM booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you.
Well, Dane, I mean, dominant car here tonight at Vegas. Overall, it felt like you were pulling away there on that final run to the end, and then the caution came out, and we saw you going on a pretty good battle there with Quinton Clark. How was that race for you?
Yeah, just it's so different having to do like kind of preparation. I ran NIS Open this week, messed with the setup, made adjustments, and I got something I was pretty happy with. And then yeah, I don't know. This race was a lot different than NIS. In NIS, I was just a little bit tight. In this race, I was a lot tighter, and the handling changed a lot. Like I was really scared to make adjustments this race because it would be fine on the short run and then get like really loose in the mid run and then like end up just be kind of a little tight slash balanced on the end. But overall, it felt good. Um, Good battle there at the end with Quentin. So yeah, I just wish I could have ended up with the win, but uh, it's all right. It's just how it went. I think he had a little bit better of a short run car, or at least a better setup for that point on that like on the laps on that set of tires. So he did a good job. So he seems pretty good. So
Yeah, of course. I mean, second place finish. I mean, we saw you try there at the end. I mean, got in the wall there on the last lap, coming out of two, just trying to get up to the 94. But still a second place finish here tonight. We do believe you're gonna be back here for the next few weeks. So what's the strategy gonna be? Moving on for Darlington and forward.
yeah, we'll see. I've been enjoying the open setups, so I might. But yeah, on the final lap, I just you have to run where he's not. Dirty air is pretty bad. So I tried to run like a little bit higher up, and it just got really tight. So I just smoked the wall. I didn't think I was gonna be able to do anything anyways. So that was the final lap, and then yeah, we go to Darlington, and then I don't remember what's after Darlington. It's probably like Martinsville, I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
So
it's Martinsville.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll probably do Darlington, but probably not Martinsville. So uh, yeah, we'll see. But I have enjoyed messing with the setups, getting them to drive how I want. yeah, so tonight was pretty good. Just wish I could have ended up winning.
Well, still a pretty successful night. So, Dane, any teammates, sponsors, shout outs? You got that 70 car up on the podium.
I want to thank Marcus Emerson. He didn't have a great race tonight. Ended up wrecked a couple times. But yeah, I've been working with him a little bit. Just trying to get these cars driving good, and wish he could have gotten a better result. But yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, that's all.
Well, that will be our second place finisher here tonight, Dane Cruz. Dane, I hope to see you there tomorrow. I'm going to finish in front of you at Talladega, so just be ready.
I don't think so.
We'll see, of course, tomorrow. But for tonight, congratulations on the second place finish, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So we'll send it back up to Dawson Allen in the booth so he can catch up with our race winner, Quentin Clark.
Whew. Who says a green car ain't lucky? How about that?
There we go. My mic was muted like a dumbass. Yeah, the green was lucky. It's been really just about pushing up against that damn wall, ready for it to break. 3 straight podium finishes, 3 straight second place finishes. It was always going to happen this season. It happens tonight at Vegas. First things first, Quentin, congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I had to take that one from Dane in the 70. I mean, that dude drove his butt off the whole race. He was obviously the best car the whole race, and hats off to him for putting on a good race. And didn't really get a chance to talk to him afterwards, but I just had to put on my NASCAR shoes and push as hard as I could because I knew it was going to be the only way I could beat him.
Yeah, well, you got it to work there at the end, but that race was definitely, a little bit shaky. A different race, really the start to the middle and then to the end of this one. Just as the long run kind of played out, what was your thought process in that one before we got the caution?
Yeah, it just we were coming to the stage, and I know which caution. We're coming to the stage, and I was really hoping to hold out as long as I could, and we got into a little bit of traffic. I missed the corner once, and suddenly you just get eaten alive, and so I just kind of decided to pit there, and it was not the strategy that I wanted to make, but all that dirty air and how hard I was pushing at the beginning, I kind of had to cut it a little bit short, so I missed out on stage points that way. But yeah, a lot of these guys definitely had the long run speed that I just didn't. This is one of those tracks that are just super hit or miss for me. I like it a lot better in the fall. I've never won here in the spring. It's always a little hotter and just not, tough to tire save. And some of these guys are just really, really good at it. So glad we had a shot at a short run there at the end. But the guys I was battling with were faster than me in qualifying too. So it was a blast. It was so much fun, and getting the door bang a little bit and trust. They're good enough drivers I can trust that we're not going to wreck each other racing like that. It was just so much fun.
Absolutely. Well, you come away with the win tonight. You start off 2026 really hot, and you look to be in prime contention so far. What's the motivation? What's going to be the goal keeping this momentum up? What's it going to be like, week in and week out now?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to keep it up front. The goal is going to be getting my teammates up here. I really hate that they had unfortunate races and got collected in some of the stuff that happened behind us there. Glad to see Jacob recover for a top 5 after after all that. But Moore had the best long run speed out of all of us, and he did not luck out, unfortunately. So hoping that Darlington will turn their luck around next week. We'll see, because the Lady in Black will definitely strike. So hopefully not us. And but Moore put a lot of work into the setup this week, and really proud of his work this week, and just hoping for the best for them. And I'm just gonna try to keep it up front and hope that they the Hornets Nets treats them a little bit better, or they outqualify it, because they have been. They've got the speed.
Well, alrighty, you exit tonight's race now with the win. Teammate sponsor shoutouts. What got you to 4 straight second and first top 2 finishes, I should say?
Yeah, I think my daughter manifested this one. She's got to be my biggest shout out right now. I finished I think 28th, 29th at Daytona, and then she made me a Super Kitties bracelet, and it's beads and like fishing line, and I've finished second ever since then. And tonight I was like, I need just an extra kiss on the cheek just to get me past second, because the bracelet's getting me podiums, which is great, but I just need like one more something. I don't know if it's putting green on the car. I'm drinking Irish whiskey tonight to celebrate. You know, it's all the little things. I'm not superstitious, but I'm definitely a little stitious. So I don't know if that put it over, but she's really good at manifesting stuff. So shout out to her. Shout out to Bomb Fire on Spotify, and Mach 5 Design for the cool colors this week. We'll have some throwback schemes next week I'm looking forward to. And shout out to my teammates, my parents watching back home, and my family, and my wife, who helps put the kiddo to bed on these Monday nights and practice nights, so I can do this every week. And appreciate you guys in the booth for helping us put on a good show. I feel like this was a good show. I hope hope it translated into a good show over the broadcast. I'm looking forward to watching it back.
Well, alrighty, Quentin Clark comes home. Your race winner tonight after a wild one here in Las Vegas. Congrats on the win, Quentin.
Thanks, guys.
And so that'll do it from us here tonight in Las Vegas. It was a bunch of different races kind of rolled up into one. That's typical of mile-and-a-half races, I think, nowadays on iRacing. Starts off kind of slow or kind of crazy with a bunch of action, bunch of cautions and everything, and then we get a long green flag run, and then it gets interrupted by a caution that sends the field into a tizzy, and it leads us to an overtime restart where Quentin Clark takes his first win of the season. Enrique, your closing thoughts on that race?
Yeah, I mean, uh, you know, they have talked about it in real life, and I feel like, we got to talk about it here as well. It's the first real test of the season. Of course, we started off back to back with plate tracks at Daytona and Echo Park, and then the road course over in Texas and Phoenix last week. This is the first track that I feel like these drivers are going to have to, to perform. And we saw some of the drivers that were up the front, some that were at the back, some that were at the back and made their way up to the front. And I feel like, everyone was put to the test here in Vegas, and, heading into Darlington now. Darlington's going to be really exciting considering it's got the new 750 horsepower package there in a sort of mile-and-a-half type situation. That is Darlington, but not really a mile and a half. So, but Darlington, with how tight it is, and the close racing, is going to be really exciting to watch there next week. But for now, congratulations. I mean, Quentin Clark, he put on a show trying to get past Dane Cruz there at the end. Just what a show we got there at the end between those two. But I mean, you mentioned it earlier. We got Super Speedway action this week. Talladega coming up for the Side Job Racing League tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. That's gonna be oh my God, you cannot miss that tomorrow night. And yep, I believe that is everything for this week. So we'll be back for Darlington. Yep, we'll be back for Darlington next Monday.